Good day and welcome back to the Family Cyber Clinic. Did you know that leaving your Wi-Fi router's password on the factory default setting is like leaving your front door wide open for hackers? You see, scammers love unsecured routers. It's their golden ticket into your private world. Today, as you can see on the screen, I'll show you how to secure your router and keep your family safe, particularly in this season, from online threats. I hope you stick around. It's easier than you think, okay? So welcome. If this is your first time, dropping by, I truly welcome you. On this platform, we empower families to stay safe in today's digital world. In this video particularly, we're talking about one of the biggest cybersecurity risks. Yes, I know that in the past, we covered this many years ago and we seem to have addressed it, but rogues have returned. This is a huge risk that families often overlook, and that is referring to their Wi-Fi router. If you're using the default password that came with your router or haven't thought much about its security, you're not alone, but you're also at risk. And so I'm going to break down and fix those together in this video. Okay? Good. So why default settings? Why are we focusing on default router settings? And why are they dangerous if not done properly? Okay, so what are default settings? Every router comes with a factory set password, often something generic like admin. And God forbid 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but honestly, it's that simple. These default settings are publicly known and easily searchable online. And of course, there are risks attached to that. And what are the risks? Hackers can log in with those details, take control of the router and monitor your internet activity. And of course, we're addressing family, so you know that if it happened or is happening to you, it generally happens to the whole family. Okay? Another risk will be that they can infect your network with malware once they log in or access sensitive information like bank accounts or personal data. In 2021, this is why I said that this seemed to have been addressed, but the rogues are back. In 2021, researchers found thousands of routers worldwide compromised simply because families left their passwords unchanged. We want that to change, through this video. A third risk will relate generally to families, our main focus. Think about devices in your home, your kids' tablets, smart TVs, phones. All of them are vulnerable if your router isn't secure, okay? I can hear you crying. Get on with it, Lawrence. How can I secure my router? I am glad you asked, okay? I'm really glad you asked. So we're going to look at several things. How to secure your router. And as you can see in the first one there, changing the default password. Needless to say, it must be the first thing that we do. Change the default password. You have to log in via a browser to access your router settings. And if you look at the manual that came with your router, it will have the passwords I generally told you, admin as username and possibly admin as password. You have to change it, okay? You log in using the typical address, and if you look at the manual, you see 192.168.1.1. Just follow what the manual says. And then you log in successfully and find the admin page or the administration page or settings. And in there, change the password. And I'm urging you to create a strong password. Think long, unique, and a mix of letters, numbers, and symbols, okay? That is so important. You must also change the network name. The network name. And that simply is the SSID. So change the network name. It will be, listed as SSID. Change it to something that is not too common. All right. So look for network name, and whatever it is, change it. When you go to people's houses, they will tell you, you ask them what's the name of your Wi-Fi, or what's your Wi-Fi, how can I identify your Wi-Fi, and they will give you something. Usually they're giving you what came by default. Change that network name or SSID. And generally, if you do that, then you have halted or prevented the easily identifiable name of your router, and you stop the rogue in his or her tracks. Okay, but make it difficult to guess and make it harder to target. All right. The third point, or well, now it's the second, would be enabling WPA3. There was a time that I've stayed in front of you and recommended WPA2 as the go-to setting, but that's obviously changed with the passage of time. And now I'm recommending that you enable WPA3. And I hope to God that your router has this added to, its features, security features or secure features is important. Okay. You also find it in the administration or on the administration page. So go there and change it. So you check your router's security settings and ensure that WPA3, or indeed if it doesn't have WPA3, as I suspect it may be the case for many old routers, then WPA2 encryption, it's also okay, but make sure that it is on. This makes it harder generally for hackers to break in. All right. Now, a third, keep going down the list, but as you can see, turn off WPS, which stands for Wi-Fi Protected Setup. And generally what that is instead of getting the network name or the SSID from your host, what you can get your host to do is to press the button. It's a button on the router, the hardware itself. Whilst they press the button, it allows people around you to be able to log on. It's convenient, but it can also make your network easier to breach. So you have a toggle in the settings or on the settings page that you must turn it off. It's all right for you, the host, to do it when you're configuring, devices in the house like your printer, your smart devices. That makes sense. That makes it convenient, but don't leave it on. Once you have done all that you need to do, turn off your WPS button. Just toggle or press the button and it will go off, or look for the settings on the admin page and turn it off, because that will definitely make it difficult for the rogue to breach your network. Okay. Vital. The next would be updating firmware regularly, and we generally don't do this enough. And it's frightening that we, through these bridges, like the platform before you, Family Cyber Clinic, we constantly tell you, do not ignore updates. Updates are the way the vendor seeks to protect us. You buy a device from the vendor. Over time, bugs are introduced into the world, and the vendor, being the vendor they ought to be, prudent, diligent, offer you firmware updates that when you install offers you protection. Think of firmware updates as security patches for your router. Okay. And if the vendor is not pushing those out onto the interweb, then you can go onto your router. And if you look again on the admin page, you have a button that allows you to check updates. So check your router's admin page for updates and stay updated, please. Like I said, we can't blame the vendor if the vendor is trying his or her hardest to protect us. Okay, now the last point that I'm going to share will be setting up guest networks. Now I know that this is, some will argue whether it's overkill in the home. I don't think any of the things I've suggested is overkill. The rogue is counting on you to be slack about this. In case you don't know, in the enterprise, in your workplaces, I'm sure you have a guest network. And the primary reason why you have a guest network is to separate, family from guest. Simple as that. And I hope I've broken it down well. You are separating what you do in your family space with those who visit you and giving them their own network. So if you, and I'm learning, like I tell you, I hope I'm vulnerable enough in front of you. This is not the be all or end all. Ultimately, you're adding layers to make the hacker's life so difficult. Okay, so setting up guest networks will prevent the rubbish from your guests' devices from coming onto your network. So if you isolate the networks, then what happens on the guest network will stay on the guest network. So set up a guest network if you can. And if guests visit, give them a separate network, information or login information or data. This keeps your own family and basically the main devices safe. All right. This is so important that you do these things. All right, please. I'm on my knees. Now we've got to keep our family informed. All right. Ultimately, all this breaks down if we're doing this and we're not teaching the kids. All right. We have to teach the kids and our family on how best to keep this going, keep the entire family safe, really. So teach your kids and family, explain to your family why they shouldn't share the Wi-Fi password with everyone. It's like giving strangers a key to your house. No one wants that. So make it a family habit to review your router settings every few months. It's a small step that pays off big in security. Now, your kids may not be old enough to handle this big task. So for a while, you will be the one as the parent, as the head to make sure that this is happening. Every few months, make sure that your router settings are spot on. So folks, there you have it. Single steps to secure your Wi-Fi router and protect your family from hackers. Remember, it's not just about the tech. It's about keeping your loved ones safe in today's digital age. If this video helped you, as you can see on the ticker, give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who needs to hear this. Please don't forget to subscribe for more family-focused online safety tips. Check your subscription. If it's blank, you're not subscribed. If it's red, you are subscribed. If it's gray, you're not subscribed. So please subscribe and allow this channel get to others who need this information just like you do. All right? Until next time, stay safe and smart online. Being your host, Lawrence Edem. God bless and goodbye.